Today we are going to learn about the pure function and see some examples regarding that. So what is a pure function? A pure function is nothing but the what you can say, it's like it takes some value and returns the same value. So basically it takes some parameter and return the same parameter. It return the take some parameter and return the same parameter. So we will see some examples how this pure function works. So we will create one method function. We can say doubling double number, and here it takes the some number value. So we are creating one method in order to check what does pure function do. So here what it will take, it will perform some operation number star and 2. So what it here, this is a pure function. So what it is doing, it's taking some parameter and returning the same parameter. It is not being affected by the any of the external parameter. If there would be some parameter which would be getting affected, and with respect to this method, that would be considered as a impure function. We will talk about that impure function also. First let's see what does pure function do. So what we will do, we will take one let result and double number, and we will pass one value, and we will console this value. If you see here, right, we are trying to call this method and passing one parameter which is nothing but the number and multiplying with this number. So if we print this result, I think there is some error regarding this result. One second. Node pure function dot yes. If you see, right, we are getting the result as a, so here if you see, right, what is pure function is returning. So if we call this result value here, right, and try to print run this code, we'll get some result value as a 10. So this method is considered as a pure function because it is not getting affected by the any of the external parameter. Suppose if you have some value, any of the external parameter, if you can say like const x is equal to 5, and you are multiplying this value with the 5, and the now if you run the code, it will become 50. Now this becomes the impure function because it is taking as a some external parameter. It's taking some external parameter, and it's performing some operation and modifying the originality of the pure function. So it shouldn't mutate the original value of the pure function. Since this is mutating the original value, it is considering, here we are considering as a impure function. This concept works very well with respect to the React, where we try to use map, reduce, all this method in order to consider as a pure function. So suppose we have, uh, as I told, right, mutation. So what does that mutation, how does mutation happen? So the original value of a pure function shouldn't get modified. So I will just show you one more example with respect to the mutation of the original value, which is the general basics of the pure function. So suppose we have one method where we will perform addition, not addition actually, basically you can say something like appending numbers. You will take one array, and what you can do, you can return the same array. Now what will happen, and here what you can do, you can print, take some arguments, as a number in the form of array 2 comma 3 comma 4. And here what you can do, you can take one result value and call this method appending of a number, and you can pass this method and you can return this result. So here what we are trying to do, we are passing some value, and we are not mutating those value, we are just trying to return this value. So suppose now I have to add few more numbers into this array. Okay, let us run this code first. Okay, I think it is not saved, that is the reason it is giving the older result. You can rerun this code. You can see that it is printing the same value, whatever the value we have passed over this method. Now if we try to mutate this value, and that will become as a impure function. So suppose we try to push this value, we are trying to modify the originality of this array. So this makes this method as a impure function. So what we will do, we are trying to push this value. So now this, if you try to run this code, right, it will push this 5 and 6, but the originality of the array, originality of the value got modified. Due to that, uh, uh, it is becoming as a impure function. So suppose now what I have to do, I have to make this value as a mutable, and uh, avoiding of the mutation. So what we will do, we will create one more array. Instead of modifying the originality of the array, we will try to make this method as a pure method. So what we will do, we will take one method const new arr, and then we will take this value, and here new arr, what it will do, it will push this value to the new value, and in the original array, what it will do, it will take this all the previous value of the array, means all the value whatever we are passing, where we are not modifying, we are not mutating the originality of the array, and the new value we are trying to push it. So this is the another way where we can add more value without mutating this uh, value and pushing the new value instead of modifying the original value. So now this method becomes a pure function because we are not modifying the originality of this method, and we are adding new value to this array. I hope you would be getting. So basically, to make this method from impure to pure method, we are trying to create new array and pushing those value to the new array, and then appending this value to the this array, and we are not modifying the originality of this array. So this makes this method as a pure function. So now if we run this, so I will try to make you understand again. So basically, the mutation of the value, we are trying to avoid it by, to prevent it getting modified with this arr, is by returning the new value to the array. So this is how we are trying to mutate this value. I think the value was not the method was not saved. So now what we can do, you can use the spread operator, and then you can put it, and then it will print the correct result. So this is how the pure functions works. We have to uh, keep in mind the 2 to 3 concept for the pure function. It's straightforward. So the first thing is, it should, whatever the value it should take, it should return the same value. It shouldn't get modified with respect to the any of the external parameter what we saw in the previous method, and it shouldn't mutate its original value. So that makes all this method as a pure function. So basically, pure functions are like a fundamental mental concept, you can say, especially when working with the functional programming. They are very important because they are very predictability. They have they keep ensuring that they are very much predictability reliable to our code. So that is how it makes the function as a pure function, and it should take the whatever the parameter it is taking, it should return the same parameter without getting modified. So yeah, so basically it should be like not getting modified with the any of the external uh, values, you can say. So yeah, and we use this pure function concept very much into the React, like map, reduce, filter. So this is how that will make a pure function very much usable over our uh, day-to-day life for the JavaScript. So I hope you liked that video. If you really like this video, then please do subscribe to my channel, Code Breaker. So thank you guys for your time.